Hello everyone, this is Group 10, and today we're going to show you about how we try to use AI to explore the application of AI in gate analysis. So here's our table of contents, and first we're going to show you the background and the goal, and we'll show you some of the outputs of the Gen AI, and how we do the fact check, and finally share some comments of ours. For the background, as a student from the Department of Physical Therapy, we know that the gait analysis results may be very depending on the therapist conducting the assessment, and also the patient often find it difficult to assess their own gait problems. So for our goal, we hope we could explore some whether AI can provide practical solution to these issues. As a student from the Department of Physical Therapy, the first thing I want to know is a briefly image that how AI could be used in the gait analysis. So the prompt I use is I ask ChatGPT that I am a physical therapist and I would like to understand how AI can be applied in gait analysis. And the answer from ChatGPT is a list that what AI could probably do in gait analysis. And something like automated detection of spatial temporal parameters or joint kinematics estimation, pathology classification, real-time gait feedback system, wearable sensor analysis, rehabilitation outcome prediction. So these are the possible use that AI could be applied in gait analysis. And ChatGPT also told me some benefits for physical therapists. Like using AI could be a faster assessment, it could be cheaper, it could be enabled to remote rehabilitation and home monitoring. So it seems like the concept do exist. So secondly, we want to know is some example of relevant application, and hopefully we want those example to be supported by experimental evidence. And here's the answer from the ChatGPT. The ChatGPT gave us a list for several examples, and all of these examples were based from several research papers. And ChatGPT also leave the link below, so we could check all the research for ourselves. An example will be like markless video-based post-estimation, something like using IMU AI, using for fall risk prediction, using for disease classifications, using for automatic gait pattern classification in cerebral palsy. So before I dig into all this research paper, I want to know that it worth my time or not. So the third thing I want to know is I use the prompt and I ask ChatGPT about search the web based on various study how the accuracy is AI in gait analysis. ChatGPT's answer is a summary of the 6 paper it mentioned above, listing their final results and provide an overall summary. Although this is somewhat kind of not answering the question, considering that this is an emerging field and that the study differ in focus and target population, it may indeed be a difficult question to answer. And finally, since our goal is to understand whether AI-based gait analysis can truly be applied in clinical practice, I would like to know specifically what kind of equipment I would usually need. So the final prompt I use is I ask ChatGPT that if I want to introduce AI gait analysis into therapy, what kind of equipment do I need to prepare? And so the response from the ChatGPT is again based on the study it mentioned above. So it leads for approach and it would arrange by from easiest to the most difficult one. And the most easier one is to use a smartphone based method. And the mid tier will be use the IMU wearable sensors. If you want high accuracy, you could try markerless motion capture system. And if you got a high-end lab setup, you could get a golden standard. And finally, the ChatGPT even gave us a recommendation setup. It told us that if you want the best balance of price, accuracy, and practicality, you could try an option of using smartphone plus IMU combo. Yes, so these are all the outputs that Gen AI gave us, and we'll try to told you how we do the fact check next.
AI gave us a total of 22 references, and my goal is to check the reliability of the sources and the accuracy of the content. First, to evaluate the credibility, I divided these materials into two groups: higher credibility and lower credibility. The higher credibility ones comes from academic research institution and a major global publisher, such as Springer Nature and Elsevier. They are considered to be authoritative source in academia. They are trustworthy because they have undergone strict peer review. On the other hand, I found 4 seems less reliable. One of them is ResearchGate, which is more like a academic social platform. The papers there are often preprints uploaded by the author themselves. For this particular paper, I asked AI to find its official publisher, and the result is that it is Elsevier, a reputable publisher. But AI had only given me the ResearchGate link. ResearchGate is more like a place for researchers share their work. It's not the formal publishing source. The other 3 references are from MDPI. MDPI is a legitimate but controversial academic publisher. Their articles do have DOI and the H-index is not low. However, they have been criticized for having too short review time and the review is not rigorous enough, which means their equality can be uneven. The second part of my check is about accuracy. I compared generative AI's response with the content of paper, and I found that almost all of the informations really come from the content. However, I also found that some ideas provided by AI are not directly stated in the paper. It's more like the extensions made by AI. And sometimes AI use stronger and more absolute words than the original text. It's more like an exaggeration.
After we finished our conversation with Gen AI, we concluded our experience with Gen AI and summarized the advantages and disadvantages of its responses. During the conversation, we felt that Gen AI has the following advantages, like it organizes replies using bullet points and attaches the reference sources after each reply, which makes it easy for users to verify the data's authenticity. And when providing solutions to users, it lists them according to the difficulty of completion. However, while verifying Gen AI's responses, we found the following disadvantages. Gen AI may use unofficial or unverified data, which raises concerns about data accuracy. Furthermore, Gen AI's replies often use exaggerated and intense language, and it may add its own interpretation and extension to the data, and it affecting the user's understanding. However, upon checking, we found that most of Gen AI's training data comes from online articles, such as media headlines and news reports. These texts often use controversial or sensational vocabulary to attract readers. So Gen AI may unconsciously imitate this tone when generating dialogue. And next, we have compiled some suggestions how Gen AI can be improved, including setting up a source review mechanism to exclude controversial and unverified sources, thereby making the answer more accurate and avoiding excessive interpretation and extension of the data, which might confuse users. And finally, we summarize some suggestions that the users can refer to when using Gen AI, such as not blindly trusting the answers, and especially when asking for details in specific fields. Also, use detailed and accurate wording for your questions to give Gen AI more filtering criteria to generate more accurate responses. And thank you for your listening.